Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Abad. We're supposed to start a new chapter on tathbit, ascertaining what is right or what is wrong. But there's an issue that I think is worth talking about, and as Muslims we can't neglect important things that are happening around us. None of us here would claim ignorance for what's happening in Gaza. And being here in Canada, what can we do beyond just making dua, praying, etc.? We are already, muqassirun, in many ways. We are not fulfilling our duties or our obligations with our Muslim brother. But we also know that, one tool that we have is the election that is coming up, right? When it comes to election, we know that Muslims are divided. There is no way around that. We cannot deny it. Now, there are those that are on the extreme left, completely. It's haram. You can't do it. It's outside of the fold of Islam. In fact, they make takfir of people, and they try to make istidlal from the Quran. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ, and so on and so forth. But these verses are well explained even by the companions themselves, that the kufr that is being discussed is kufr duna kufr. The fisk is fisk duna fisk, up to dhulma, and all the places that Allah mentioned this ayah. You can check the tafsir or understanding of Abdullah ibn Abbas on this matter if you need further clarification. So this is the first point. There are those on the very extreme left about this is out of Islam, you cannot do it, etc., etc. Even though the reality that they live in shows that they cannot avoid it, whether they like it or not. On the extreme right are also those who are 100% for it, such that they promote it even above Islam. In some cases, you have Muslims like this, and they try to justify it by every means. Oh, this is from Islam. Democracy is this, is that. They make istidlal too with different, evidences. But وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ. Allah has made us the middle path for a reason. A Muslim cannot be blind to the reality of what's happening. One way we cannot agree, at least can make things a little bit better, is if you get the right person in there who has a little bit of sympathy towards Muslims or towards our brothers and sisters in Gaza. Many of us, you can bear witness that south of the border, things became worse under the new administration. The previous administration, people thought they had seen enough. But this one came and, subhanAllah, it's worse. So, the point that we are trying to make is that if you are eligible to vote, you have the ability at least to put the lesser evil there. Even though you may not be someone who is disposed to voting in the first place. But at least this is something you can do, rather than folding your hands. We learn from the hadith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves people who are optimistic. People who don't just sit back and, basically give up. And you cannot say you neglect what's happening around you, even though they are not Islamic. For instance, in Surah Rum, what did Allah say? Alif Lam Mim Gulibati Rum Fi Adna al-Ard wa hum min ba'di ghalabihim sayaghlibu fi bid'i sinin lillahi al-amru min qabl wa min ba'd wa yawma idhin yafrahu al-mu'minun. So this is an ayah or series of ayahs that shows that Muslims are concerned about issues of kuffar. Who are the people fighting? Romans and Persians. How does it concern Muslims? The person can say they are not Muslims. What's my business? In fact, on the day that the Romans will defeat the Persians, sayafrahul mu'minun, the Muslims will also be happy. Although Mufassirun give other tafsir that they will become victorious against it. Al-Muhim, the Mushrikun were supporting the Persians because the Persians are close to Shirk as well. And the Mu'minun were supporting the Romans because they are close to Kitab. And the Muslims are also from Ahlul Kitab. So a person cannot say that. In fact, one of the ulama, he passed away, rahimahullah, Ibn Uthaymeen. He was asked about the issue of election, and this is the verses that he used. This series of verses. And from there, he made istidlal that Muslims should be involved in